We're here. We finished the second installment of our Youth Advisory Council. It was unbelievably well attended. We actually got to use the courthouse, so when we did our role playing, we actually got to sit in council chairs. They got to use the microphones. I mean, it was really much more real role playing as opposed to just being in a classroom and sitting at a desk. You should be talking with him, and there are points that he's not necessarily going to be able to talk about all the time. Figure out what he wants you to say so you can be recognized by the chair and say, you know, this is a good point, or they made a good point, your team. In Springfield, for example, they may have some bill that deals with sentencing penalties, and if the state police come and say, we don't support that, I'm going to think twice about it.
I always thought, I was just like, why can't you just pass something? And now I understand that you have to go through certain like steps to get to those rules and like to get the bills passed. So that was definitely something that I learned.
I do this to give high school students an opportunity to see the governmental process, to see how it works, to see the compromise that is done, to see what they could do potentially in the future. And ultimately, the bottom line is how government does play a role in your community development and the health and welfare of your own community.
The Senate Executive Committee has been called to order. We have one bill on our agenda today, Senate Joint Resolution Constitutional Amendment 0009.
Resolution Constitutional Amendment 0009, otherwise known as the Impartial Map Amendment, proposes to amend the legislator article of the Illinois Constitution.
I'm wondering why, if we're not trying to discriminate against political parties, why are we considering their affiliation with a party or their past elections if we're not trying to focus on their political parties?
Even though voters could be potentially manipulated by redistricting, at least they could have the chance to overcome it by having it be done by those that they elect.
The biggest thing I'll probably take away from this is probably like working together as a group. Like, it's not just you who's in charge. Like, we know Senator Althoff's name, but there's so much behind her.
I think in the end, when you're making your vote, you need to do what your constituents would want you to do, not what your bank account wants you to do, not what your family's birthday party budget wants you to do. What you need to do is what's best for the taxpayers, the people who pay all of our paychecks, and the people who elect us in the office. So at this time, we will now move to a vote.
Hannah Bush, yay.
Emily Muller, yay.
Owen Merck, nay.
For nay votes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Against the yeas, who have 9. So this resolution would pass.
Next step would be gone to.
There's so many different opinions in the world. Coming from a small town, you get used to everybody just kind of laying low and having the same opinions, and you don't really talk about your opinions, but it's really cool to come out and just be able to experience such different things.
You know, if I'm leaving the future in the hands of these kids, we're all good. Naveed, you won one of my essay contests, and the prize was to spend a day with me, your senator. You are from Big Hollow School, you're in 6th grade, but instead of shadowing me today, you got to come and participate in my Youth Advisory Council, right?
Yes.
What'd you learn today?
Well, I learned that there's many problems with redistricting in Illinois right now, and we're trying to figure it out, and it's like all a big, complicated process.
And so did we actually have a role model? Did we have an opportunity for everybody to get engaged in the governmental process?
Yes, we did like a role play that everyone had a role in the government, and we voted on it and like discussed.
And did you have a role yourself?
Yes, I was a lobbyist.
And did your side prevail? Did you win?
No, we did not win.
So you were not for the constitutional amendment for redistricting?
Yes.
But personally, how do you feel about that?
Well, coming into here, I didn't really have much knowledge about it, and I think today I learned a lot about it, and I think I agreed with it.
Excellent, very good. Will you come back when you're in high school when we do this again and participate?
Yes, I will.
Excellent. Thank you, Naveed. It was wonderful. I am glad you were with us today.
Me too.